Listen up if you don't already know what MGTOW stands for. Both the mainstream media and the social movements that back it will explain it to you. It is difficult for them to label it as a misogynistic, anti-woman extremist and separatist movement because of de facto inequality, the absence of morals in the so-called developed nations, and the deterioration that has occurred in those nations. There is a war not only on gender, but also on men, masculinity, and free thought. On top of that, it is abundantly evident that the concept of free speech is nothing more than a utopian ideal. However, I have previously covered this topic in a prior video, so let's keep things as straightforward as possible. MGTOW is a way of thinking that has been criminalized by the establishment, but it is assisting tens of thousands of men in breaking away from conventional standards and living happier lives. Men Going Their Own Way, also known by its abbreviated form, MGTOW, is an online social group in which male members do not communicate with female members in an effort to define and express their masculinity in accordance with their own standards. It is also possible to interpret it as a philosophy that encourages men to reclaim their own power and grants them license to reject things or people who do not contribute anything of value to their lives, similar to the majority of contemporary women. Stay closely because you are about to learn the fundamental particulars of this way of thinking, including how it is assisting men and the reasons why certain social groups despise it. More men are signing up for MGTOW since the conventional path of getting married and having children does not appear to be a viable option for them in today's society. Men are sick and tired of the double standards in society and the rude behavior of women. Even though many women and brainwashed men believe that men who go their own way spend their time masturbating and playing video games in their mother's crib, a number of men already believe that this philosophy is the tool that will help men fight for liberty. Despite this, a number of men already believe that this philosophy is the tool that will help men fight for liberty. The truth, on the other hand, is almost always considerably different. In recent years, the MGTOW movement has gained popularity, with more and more men choosing to opt out of traditional societal expectations and norms. This shift is largely driven by a growing frustration with the perceived double standards and unfair treatment that men face in society, particularly in regards to relationships and the legal system. Many MGTOW adherents believe that the best way to combat these issues is to reject traditional expectations and focus on self-improvement and individualism. The vast majority of women have been subjected to this imbalance before the law, and a great number of women have desired to fight against, among other things, expensive divorces and false allegations. Some guys believe that the reason we haven't lost regard for women is because there aren't any women left to respect. This is a really big remark to make, especially considering the fact that not all women are like that. Having said that, I do believe that in the industrialized nations of the West and other regions, there are not a lot of women who are suitable for marriage. This is due to the fact that women today have a wide variety of options available to them, particularly in the form of social media and dating applications. Other guys are repulsed by the horrifically high body counts, and they would much rather their blood be free of the DNA and diseases carried by other people. You can find out more about what I'm talking about by looking up the term microchimerism. Let's have a look at some of the ways in which you may put the MGTOW principles into action in your life so that you can experience the benefits of this philosophy that is truly freeing. MGTOWs have a hard time convincing women to be stay-at-home moms despite the fact that many women aspire to have the same career paths as men and advance in their companies until they reach the position of boss. If you want to build yourself up, you may either go to the gym or participate in sports. You may also make your lust and the wants you face on a daily basis into a source of creative strength by working 80 hours a week. Other males, in an effort to conform to social expectations and demonstrate their masculinity, will engage in behaviors such as pursuing women and amassing significant amounts of debt in order to finance their vehicles. But your value does not solely depend on the things you possess, because material things are devoid of significance if you have to become a credit and debt slave in order to acquire them. There are a lot of men who enjoy being wealthy but don't like to brag about it. MGTOW are not totalitarians, as can be seen, and they do not attend rallies to protest the removal of statues or to demand for an increase in the amount of public spending and control exercised by the government. They choose to be sigmas rather than alphas because they enjoy being on their own and do not need to explain things to anybody else. This is because men who go their own way do not wish to change the system. Due to the fact that they do not adhere to a predetermined credo or doctrine, MGTOW cannot be considered a unified group. The starting point is deciding against getting married in order to stay out of unwanted conflict and live life on one's own terms. Men who identify as members of the MGTOW society may have the desire to have a girlfriend, or perhaps several girlfriends, but they would never even consider getting married. They may even desire to use surrogacy so that they can have a child even though they do not have a partner. I want to emphasize that these are only some examples. The problem of gynocentrism, sometimes known as female privilege, is one that persists in today's culture. MGTOWs work to combat this issue. Many individuals are content to just believe in concepts such as the gender pay gap or male privilege, oblivious to the truth that women receive more support from governmental and private organizations than men do. Consider the quotas that are set up in order to increase the number of women who are hired for particular jobs. MGTOW are reviled by masculine women who believe they challenge traditional gender roles, and even by pickup artists because of their activism. In point of fact, MGTOW is of the opinion that these two groups view women in the context of their respective ideologies as either commodities or rewards. Women are now enslaved to many different trends and companies as a result of modern ideologies. Despite the fact that these ideas claim to have liberated women, some modern women want to be able to wear whatever they want, even if it's quite provocative and gets a lot of attention. But at the same time, they don't want to be treated like objects. They act as though they should be able to have their cake and eat it too. They wear less, go out more, and expect respect from respectable guys in spite of the fact that they go out more. At the end of the day, these women get no respect and a lot of men who just want to bang them but won't even think about getting married. Despite all this, there is still hope. As you can see, there is hope for men in the MGTOW community. The basics are strong, and many men with strong opinions are happier than ever. Movements like Me Too and political correctness are waking up many men. It's hard to say anything and not offend someone. If you meet an unstable woman, you're likely to be falsely accused or manipulated. Many men fall into the trap of accepting any woman who comes their way because they have few options. I hope you have a lot of success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? How do you live your life as a MGTOW? What does MGTOW mean to you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to leave a comment below and subscribe so you don't miss any new uploads. Until next time, see you in the next video.